welcome back to another edition of Neon Trash. Once again, we are covering movies during the entire month of Black History Month, and tonight is Dale's Pick. Dale, what have you got in store for us tonight?
Some early 90s Blaxploitation horror. This actually refers to itself as a comedy thriller, Death by Temptation.
Death by Temptation.
It's a possession film, and it's rockin' full of classic late 80s and early 90s black actor cameos, and it's renowned as one of the better films. I actually found this copy a long time ago, and it's a pre-trauma copy, so we hope it plays.
Yeah.
As you can see, this thing has seen some better days.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. I do remember seeing this VHS on the shelf of a lot of video stores back in the day. You guys know this routine. Check out that trailer. Peep that shit, motherfuckers. We'll be right back with Death by Temptation.
Easter peeps.
His destiny had been foretold. Its fate had been forewarned. He did not know that something so sweet could be so evil. Now, the fate of mankind hangs in the balance as Kadeem Hardison, TV's Dwayne Wayne.
This honey I met the other night was bad. Bad. Super bad.
And Bill Nunn from Do the Right Thing get busy in the first contemporary horror thriller of its kind. James Bond III's Death by Temptation. She's every man's dream and your worst nightmare.
She leaves with men, and you never see them again.
I'm on a mission and nobody can cramp my style. So if you can't get down, stay at the crib for a while. I don't mean to be cruel and know my heart.
Death by Temptation, a new movie from Troma. With new music by Ashford and Simpson, Melba Moore, Najee, and Freddie Jackson.
Welcome back, you crazy internet weirdos. And I tell you what, Death by Temptation was a fucking gem.
Yeah.
I've known about this movie for like 23, 25 years and just never got around to watching it. This is actually one of the films that was a fucking staple trailer with Kabuki Man NYPD at the beginning of any goddamn Troma movie in the 80s and 90s. And I'm kind of glad I waited. I don't know why, because I would have loved to have seen this earlier, but this fucking movie is extremely well done for being a low-budget film. It meanders a little bit, but other than that, we were very happy with it.
This is definitely a low-budget film. This is kind of a cult horror movie as it is. It involves a succubus or a vampire or some sort of otherworldly demon preying upon the men of the inner city hood. And maybe that seems a little corny, maybe that seems a little strange and odd, and
Doesn't seem that far-fetched to me, honestly.
No.
right, but like at the same time, that's what was kind of going on with horror movies from this era. So they kind of took these conventional horror elements and made them contemporary with contemporary themes. You had hip-hop, you had the inner city element. This is one of those movies that if you've never seen it before, but you're into things like Freddy Krueger, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, things of that nature, Phantasm, definitely check out Death by Temptation.
Alright, is this really from Troma? Like, how is this possible? Because it, like, doesn't feel like a horror movie at all, but, like, as it blossoms, so to speak, like, it is a slow burner. Like, as it gets going, I'm kind of glad that it started that way, but, like, we all kind of talked about it where, like, if they could have shown the relationship between these dudes from the beginning, it probably would have been a lot better.
I just want to start off with cinematography, because that's what gripped me and drew me in. Even when I was also confused by the beginning of the movie, like, it still looked great. I'm like, okay, this is really well done. We're going to see, like, immediately I was seeing all the shadows they were using, you know, and just, man, that's what sucked me in first, you know. And, eventually the story gets going, and it actually, I don't know, this is our lead actor here is also our, like, writer and director and producer. Like, he had a vision. You want to talk about a labor of love here. Like, I feel it. You know, he had a story to tell. He knew exactly what he wanted to do and how he saw it. and he made it happen. There were some rough spots here and there, to be sure, but he made this happen.
I don't know if it was the beverages we were drinking.
What beverages?
While enjoying this film.
This ginger ale.
I fucking enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
Me too.
We do have to note, right, yeah, it meanders a bit in the beginning, and you're kind of like, what the fuck is happening? But it's because they are doing a lot of individual character development that ends up tying itself together a little towards the end. And it does, it's congruent and it pulls itself together well.
Yes.
But yeah, at the beginning you're kind of like, what the fuck? This is all over the place. You're basically, it's almost like you're dropped off in a bar. And just
with a succubus.
following all the random people's lives at your local, like, hole in the wall, which is cool. I like the way it was done. I can't say enough interesting things about this film. This is a hidden gem from the late 80s, early 90s, and more people need to see this, and I highly suggest finding the Blu-ray copy. With that being said, I'm going to give this
Store count
a solid 8.5, because I really enjoyed it.
Okay. I gotta concur with Dale over here. I'm right in the 8.5 range too. This showcases all the excellent elements that I appreciate from the late 80s and early 90s about inner city horror. And when I think of movies like that, I often reflect upon the Friday the 13th Jason Takes Manhattan movie, which is a very neon-drenched inner city film.
Fuck yes.
Although it doesn't get that way until the very end. But this one right here, from scene 1 to the final scene, you are in the bars, you are in the inner city, you are on those fog-drenched streets.
Gritty alleys, gritty scenes, older cars, shitty fucking apartments.
And then you've got like this awesome hip-hop, vaguely late 80s new wave soundtrack going on here, and I gotta say, this is definitely a winner.
Awesome.
For Tommy the Hammer, 8.5, Beanie Boy.
Well, I don't know if I'd give it that high of marks as you guys did. Like I said, the first probably half hour, like, it felt like there wasn't enough direction in the movie. And it's not that it was an unnecessary part of the movie, but, like, maybe they should have edited it differently.
Sure.
That being said, by the time, like, I think the scene that really was like, alright, this is a fucking great movie, is when you were, like, in the bar again, and it was almost like a version of hell. The movie had a way of just alluding to things before that, and then you were, like, in the trenches at that point of the movie, and, like, that's what makes it a solid horror movie for me. I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'm gonna come at this from a slightly different angle. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, I definitely give this an 8. But the fact that our boy, James Bond III, starred in, wrote, directed, produced this film, that was a solid effort. I'm going to award a bonus star for a total of 9 out of 10. Much props, much love.
No, that's very
to
true.
You, James Bond III. Like, this was awesome.
Hard to do.
Thank you for making this movie happen. That was very cool.
During the month of Black History Month, we can look at this film and appreciate a whole multitude of things from the narrative, from the characters, from the setting, and from the cinematography.
I think we can just understand a little bit, just a little bit more about the black culture itself.
Yeah.
At this point in our lives, we've learned a thing or two. So
yeah,
it really helps to flesh this movie out for sure.
Definitely. And I have to say one thing. In the beginning in the intro, I said this was pre-Trauma, and I forgot about this copy, and I'm an idiot. It does clearly say that this is a Trauma film, especially at the beginning of the movie. It's Michael Hurt's Lloyd Kaufman production. But it's one of the Shapiro Glickenhaus releases. So, it is a Trauma film.
You're an idiot!
Sorry.
Yeah, gosh.
I forgot.
Oh, well, guys, I hope we've been informative. Until the next time, tune in to them dirty, dirty motherfucking trash boys.
Penis.
Bye, guys.